Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. This evening, my guest will be Ms. Kelly Davis, Executive Director of Defending Dreams Foundation. How you doing there, Ms. Davis?
How are you? I'm doing great.
Great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Kelly Davis.
Well, Kelly Davis, I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, and I grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, so that's not too far from Charlotte. I'm a graduate of Winthrop University and married with 4 kids.
Okay, you're married. Who are you married to? I think we're kind of familiar to who you're married to, but
everybody always asks that question. Who are you married to? Thomas Davis from Carolina Panthers. That's my husband.
Thomas Davis.
Thomas Davis.
One of the outstanding players on the Panthers.
Yes.
We're glad to have him back this year.
Yes. You know. Been a long time coming. He's coming back again.
Yes, and we're looking forward to seeing him on the field.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Defending Dreams Foundation.
Well, Defending Dreams was started in 2008 by Thomas and myself. We just kind of sat down and talked about it one night, what we wanted to do to give back to the youth in our community. Back home where Thomas is from in Georgia, and also here in Charlotte. We do a couple of events in Greenville where I'm from. And we just wanted to make sure that we touch these kids in whatever way we could. And any event that we do or anybody that we sponsor, we want to make sure it was completely free to the youth. So we decided to start putting on fundraisers and doing different events to bring stuff back to the area to where the kids could relate to different things that were going on without having to pay a price for it.
How long has the foundation been in existence?
Since 2008, so 4 years.
Okay, you deal with underprivileged youth. What made you want to do that area?
Probably because of where I grew up and what I came from, my background, mixed with Thomas's background. He states all the time when he's doing, different interviews or talking to people, they say, what made you want to start working with the youth and underprivileged kids? And he says, I know where I came from and how hard it was for me to, go to a football camp and I couldn't even afford to pay like $5 for it. Or for myself being involved in different activities at school and having to wonder, how am I going to pay, for this dress for this event or for this cheerleading camp for this event? So we wanted to make sure that these kids had an outlet, somewhere that they could go and not have to worry about paying a price for it.
What type of feeling do you get to know that when you see that smile on that child's face when they're able to get to attend some of those camps that y'all have or some of the functions?
Oh, it's just a great feeling. One of the major branches of the foundation is the Youth Leadership Academy that we have. And we work with middle school kids with this academy. And just to see the transition when the kids come in to how they are after being around us for a few weeks or even a few years is just awesome. And to know that they're coming not because somebody made them, they want to come. They don't have to pay for it. It's completely free, everything that we do for them. And it's just awesome to see them and to hear them say thank you, because I wouldn't have been able to do this if you guys, didn't help me. So it's great.
Okay, your Leadership Academy also have a scholarship.
We do.
You offer that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this is the first year of our scholarship we're offering to the high school students here in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area. And we open it up to the whole CMS schools. We started out with 2 schools and we didn't have a lot of response. So I think it just took the kids some time to, get the applications from their counselors, different things like that. So we got a ton of applications by the end of May that we're also processing right now. But we're basically choosing 1 male and 1 female student from CMS schools, and we're going to look at all the criteria that we choose to judge them and give them $1,000 to go towards their education. And so in the future we want to do more events to raise more funds to give them more than $1,000. But starting out, we're doing $1,000 for 2 students this year.
That is awesome. As far as the community, why do you feel like it's vital that we help our youth in our community?
Oh, it's definitely vital. I think that a lot of people that are in the position that Thomas and I are in, they don't take advantage of the things that they can do to help the kids. And then you have kids that are running around with no after-school programs, with nothing to do, and they're getting into trouble. And that's pretty much the basis of it. So if we had more people to step up in the community and to take charge and say, hey, I want to help the young males if they're male, or I want to help my young females if they're female like myself. I want to make sure that they have these leadership skills under their belt so they can teach it to their kids, then we wouldn't have a lot of the issues that we have, a lot of the crimes that we have, a lot of the school dropouts that we have, a lot of the bad grades that are going on, because adults, we need to step up and help these kids. They don't know. They only learn from each other and their surroundings if we're not there to teach them.
Why is education so important to our youth?
Oh my gosh, you can't do anything without education. We tell our Leadership Academy kids this all the time. A lot of them say, oh, I want to be a football player when I grow up, or I want to be a singer, I want to be an actress. And one of our board members always tells them, his name's Larry, he says, how can you count your money that you make if you don't go to class and you don't learn how to count? How can you say, I want to be a singer, and you want to have all these people working for you, and they could take advantage of you because you didn't take the business class, or you didn't stay awake in class long enough to know how to handle these situations. So even if you want to do something that's making a lot of money, or even if you want to work at a restaurant, at McDonald's, you still need to go to class, you still need to get your education, get your high school diploma. And we say all the time, school is not for everybody, but learn a trade. If you want to go to hair school or barber school or go to art school, learn a trade, do something that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, but you're going to have to get that education under your belt in order to do any of that.
I know Thomas, he recently went back to get his degree.
He did.
And I know a lot of people probably say, well, he's a pro athlete, he's making all this money, why go back to get a college degree? Why was it so important for him to do that?
We always say NFL stands for not for long. The average career is 2 to 3 years for an NFL player. So we're just blessed to be going into our 8th year, especially with the injuries that Thomas has had. So say, for example, we only were in for 1 year or 2 years and Thomas didn't get his degree. Then he would have nothing to fall back on because he wouldn't be making any money. Once it's over, it's over. And a lot of people don't realize that these guys get paid for 16 weeks when they play a game. They get a check when they play a game. Some people's checks are bigger than others. But for the rest of those weeks out of the 52 weeks in a year, they don't get paid. So you have to know how to do something else. If you're not one of those big time guys making a lot of money, you have to have something else to fall back on. So Thomas's main thing, he said, I wanted to get my degree because I want to be able to support my family even beyond football. The second thing he said, my wife has her degree, so I can't let her beat me because he's so competitive.
How did that make you feel, knowing that he wanted to do that, and what did that instill into your children?
Oh my gosh, it was great. Our oldest, she's 10, and she said the same thing. She said, Daddy, you have a job, why are you going back to get your degree? He explained to her the same thing that I just said to you. And so when she actually, it clicked in her head and she actually thought about it, she said, that makes sense. She said, it really does make sense. So when they got it, because I always say, oh, when a child gets it, it makes me feel good. When she got it and it clicked in her head, I was like, yes. I said, I don't care if anybody else understood, as long as our kids knew what was going on, it was important. And so once he said he wanted to do it, I was all in, let's go. If we could find the time to fit it in, whether it be during the season, online classes, or after the season, let's do it. So I was behind him 100%.
When you saw him walking across the stage, what was your thinking?
I was just almost in tears, and I'm about to think about it right now. He struggled, like just going through the different injuries and then just trying to finish the classes and make the good grades. He had 3 classes left to take and he made 3 A's in all of those classes because he was up, he was doing his work, he was, you know, turning in papers on time, doing everything he needed to do, and still in his playbook trying to learn football and still trying to make sure his body was healed. So I was just like amazed that he just pushed that hard. I know he's a strong person, but I'm like, goodness gracious, I don't know anybody stronger than Thomas to be able to do all of that during that time frame, and he did it. Defending
Dream, where did y'all come with that name?
Well, Thomas is a defensive player, and he always talks about the kids and their dreams and their goals. When he's talking to the youth, he tells them, you know, reach for your dreams. And everybody always says the same thing, you know, don't let anybody tell you can't do it. So we kind of put together him being a defensive player and just defending dreams, that he wants to defend these dreams of these children, because if nobody's going to help them do it, then how are they going to reach for their goals and reach for their dreams if nobody's there, us as adults, to help and push them forward?
How do you deal with those youth that have issues at home and they come into your program, and I know you have to see it. How do you deal with that?
Well, we basically try to find somebody on our board, because we have a host of volunteers and different mentors around us, but basically the board members are the core of our group. So we try to get somebody on our board to reach out to one of these kids. They had to connect to somebody, whether it be me or another male board member that we have or another one of our female board members. It's somebody that we could tell that they connected with, and we try to get that person to kind of reach out to them and go talk to them. And you know, there's a line you cross when you're talking to middle school kids, because they're at that age where they're trying to figure out what what clique they belong to and who they're going to trust and who they're going to lean on and depend on. So we want to make sure that when they're doing it, that they kind of just creep in slowly, but it always works out, and the kid ends up telling us what's going on, and we take the next step on how to, you know, talk to their parents or whoever their guardian is, or contact the school, or just check up on them. We do random checks, whether it be on their grades, their report cards. We might even tell them, hey, everybody get on the laptop computer today and open up your Facebook page. We want to see what you're talking about. So they're like, you know what, you want to look at my Facebook? But it's stuff like that that parents should be doing at home to find out what their kids are doing every day.
I know you talk about the parents and stuff. Are they as involved in their youth as they should be?
I think they can be more involved. Now, I will say some of the kids in our Leadership Academy, they may live with their grandparents or a foster parent or a stepdad and a stepmom, or, you know, different situations like that. We have a couple of parents who are there every single Academy session, and they don't have to be there. We allow them to drop the kids off, and they can come back and pick them up. They come, they sit in, they learn stuff, and I've had parents who said, I've learned how to do certain things from listening to you guys, whether it be something small like getting in front of a group or speaking, you know, speaking to them, or going to do community service in their community. So they benefit from it too, the ones that stay. But I do think there are some parents that can pay a little bit more attention to their kids, but it may not be because they don't want to. They might be because the economy, you know, working 2 jobs and they can't get to the kid like they need to. So that's where we come in to try and help back them up on it.
I know you do a lot of functions for our community. Tell us a little bit about the Thanksgiving function that you had.
Well, the Thanksgiving event we do, this is going to be actually our 5th year doing it, because before we started the foundation, we did the Thanksgiving event. We go to the Salvation Army Center of Hope shelter, and we talk to the people that are over there. Harry Mack is one of the guys that we deal with, and we said, hey, we want to feed the entire shelter for Thanksgiving. A lot of these people that are in the shelter, they give them a 30, 60, or 90-day time that they're there, but some of them have been there for a year or more because they just can't find a job or can't find anywhere to go, or their situation was just that bad that they couldn't leave the shelter yet. So we say we want them to, you know, put their clothes on, come out with us to dinner. We take them away from the shelter to a restaurant, Lola's, downtown, and John over there at Lola's has been great with us, you know, feeding them every year. And we do, just with Rose Limousine Transportation Services, we do 2 or 3 trips, and we take them back and forth from the shelter to the restaurant in groups, and we feed them a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. And they get to sit down, talk with us, all the board members. We have Thomas there. He brings in some of the Carolina Panther players, so his teammates are there, and just sitting down having a normal dinner with them because they wouldn't otherwise have one.
Correct. How do you think they feel after going through all those things, after dealing with some of the issues that they're dealing with? How do you think that makes them feel, especially during a holiday?
Oh, I think it makes them feel great. We've had some of the women that are there talk to us, and they sit down and they sometimes cry, or, you know, they talk to Thomas or some of the players, and they say, I would have never been able to meet an NFL player had you not, you know, taken us out to eat, or I would have never had a good Thanksgiving dinner like this if you didn't take us, you know, out. And just to socialize, you know, they want to sit, socialize, talk about their problems, have somebody different than everybody that's in the shelter to talk to. And then we also give them different ideas or talk to them about different routes that they can take to help better their situation. So it's a wonderful experience, and they all love it. They look forward to it every year, the ones that are still there, and even ones that are out of the program and not there anymore. We hear feedback from where they say, we're going to miss our Thanksgiving dinner, you know, with the Davises. So it's great.
Do you ever stay in contact with those ladies, and, you know, once they leave?
If they want to reach out to us, they can send us an email. We do give them their information to where they can email us. So a couple of them have sent us emails just saying thank you, but otherwise we don't have any information besides them being at the shelter just because of confidentiality, you know, purposes. So we can't contact them, but they can send an email to us, definitely.
What are some of the other functions that the Defending Dream do?
Well, we do a Christmas event where last year we gave away toys to about 560 kids here in Charlotte and also in Shellman, Georgia. We started out with 300, and the list kind of just kept growing, and Thomas was like, hey, you know, let's keep doing it. If we have the funds to do it, let's keep doing it. So we basically pick a neighborhood or an organization we want to deal with. We get the wish list, you know, from that organization on what the kids want, and we just pick one thing on their list that fits in the budget. It might be $100 or $150 budget per kid. So we get them a nice gift something they might want, which might be a small TV or a bike, or like for the babies, they might want a small little play set or something, kitchen set.
Correct.
But it's to them, you know, having a little Power Wheels thing, they wouldn't normally be able to get that. It's a huge thing. So for us to see the smiles on their faces, we're like, we're gonna do it every year, help out, you know, with Christmas. Some of the other things we do a free youth football camp. And during this camp, Thomas brings in players that he went to college with who are now on different teams. They might play for Pittsburgh Steelers or Kansas City Chiefs, so it's not all Panther players. They come in, about 30 guys, and they teach the kids